Most, if not all of the reason why you are not accomplishing the things that you want to in life is due to fear. I was recently furloughed from my job, and that means that myself and all of the other employees, 100% of the workforce, are still technically employees. However, we are not receiving paychecks. And this is an ongoing process. Things are still happening and it hasn't hit a resolution yet. And so at this point, I'm not going to dive into what is going on there. But what I do want to dive into is fear. When you experience a moment like this, losing a job, losing income, losing somebody that you love, significant moments like these in your life thrust you out of your comfort zone, whether you like it or not. At one point, I'd heard it described as a golden cage. And so losing that stability and that security that you might have completely overnight is a very scary thing. However, moments like these present an opportunity. It presents an opportunity as it pushes you and quite literally thrusts you out of your comfort zone. Now you're left with a choice. Some people understandably choose to dwell in that and choose to sit in that. And you have to honor your own feelings and honor your own body and take time when you need it. And after that comes a point to where you're in control. You have the ability now to go out and mold your life in the way that you see fit. As somebody who has had anxiety and who is a highly sensitive person, fear never goes away. Elizabeth Gilbert, the author, talks about this in such a beautiful way and uses the analogy of driving a car, where you, myself, are the ones who are driving the car, and fear is allowed to be in the car. However, they're not allowed to dictate where we're going. They're not allowed to change the music. They're not allowed to make any decisions that are important to the direction that we're going. And I think that is such an apt analogy to use, that we can't get rid of fear. To fight fear is to fight a portion of yourself. And that's not what we want. We want to honor and accept and embrace all aspects of who we are. However, it doesn't mean that you have to let it make the decisions for you. A lot of this is high level talk, right? So practically, what does something like this look like? For me, there are a few things that I do that have helped me be able to accept fear. I'd be lying to you if I said easily, because it's not easily, but to accept it more readily than I have in the past. One, journaling. Journaling is something where if you take the thoughts, the things that are going on in your mind, and you put them down on paper, there is something magical that happens. Because up in your mind, things can get frantic and chaotic at times. And the moment that you put it on a piece of paper, you've now taken it out, you've given it its own space on a page, and you can see it more easily for what it is. And it takes away at least a little bit of the edge, a little bit of the overwhelm of those thoughts that you might be having regarding the subject, regarding losing your job. What am I gonna do next? For me, journaling out my feelings, making a to-do list, scheduling things out, I am one of those people where that brings me calm. And I think to some extent for everyone, journaling and getting those thoughts out in front of you will help immensely. Meditation is an integral part in this because it trains not only your breath, which is incredibly important in times of stress, whether it is times of immediate stress. Maybe you're in line and you're getting ready to get on a roller coaster and you're freaking out. Training your breathing and taking control of that and breathing in a specific manner will help to alleviate some stress, but also in day-to-day life. I find that when I'm stressed out, often I breath hold. And so meditation and focusing on the breath, using the breath as an anchor, is an incredible way to retrain that. And so that way, when you're not consciously thinking about it, your body is already mimicking this type of breathing the more and more that you do it. Aside from breath work in meditation, there's also the physical aspect of noticing sensations and not necessarily jumping to a reaction with them. Meditation, I think, really helps to soften reactions and at some point, even just be able to witness those things and not necessarily get sucked up into them. One of the last things is slow exposure to specific situations. If you have a specific situation that you're you're worried about, that fear is preventing you from doing. Maybe it's flying on a plane, maybe it's going up super, super tall buildings in the elevators. Whatever that it might be, slow exposure to that thing, it's a more healthy way to ease into that fear rather than to just white knuckle it and go immediately for the most intense experience that you could possibly have. This is something that I used to do. I had anxiety. It was pretty debilitating for me in my very early 20s and late teens, and I had to learn how to redrive. And so driving was so overwhelming, and what I would do is I would just go and I would drive. It worked, however, it wasn't the most pleasant experience and way to honor my own feelings and my body in that time. Fear, while it may not be a pleasant feeling to have, is an important one. It does serve us a purpose. And so to treat that with violence and to try and push it out of who we are is a disservice to who we are as human beings, because it will always be a part of everything that we do. And that is exactly what this new direction and this title of The Authentic Photographer is about. It is about learning how to navigate the emotional side of being a creative, being a human being, whether it's navigating how to set boundaries with clients, setting a routine that best helps you to create and to create consistently to avoid burnout and ultimately lead to a more fulfilling and sustainable career as a creative. All of that is what I like to call mindful creativity. And so I hope that you stay tuned and subscribe to the channel, because there are going to be more videos like this coming where we talk about each of those things and so much more. My name is David J. Orozco, and I will catch you guys in the next one.